Welcome back to the Chief of Self podcast. My name is Mads. We have some updates. We have updates to the Mads lifestyle, okay? One, I chopped off my hair. I was just no longer interested in the upkeep and the maintenance of the hair. I just said, take it away. Take it away from me. Let's chop it off. I've never felt more free than I do with the chop, and I highly encourage anyone, if you're ever thinking about the chop, do it. You will not regret it. It will grow back, and honestly, I wish it doesn't grow back because then I just have to keep chopping it off. Another huge update in my life, I got a Tesla. I got a Tesla. So I was driving a 2014 Honda Civic, and I didn't realize how old my car was until I started driving my new Tesla. And I was like, oh, this is how cars should feel. This is how driving, there shouldn't be such bumpiness and disruption and breakdowns of the car all the time. Interesting. So definitely a big up level. I know it's not cool to have a Tesla anymore. Not I guess political reasons, but then also I feel like it was cool maybe 5 years ago, but I don't give a shit. I am addicted. I am now a Tesla enthusiast. I don't understand how all cars are not this way. Wow. I am just a poster child now for the Tesla, and it has become my whole personality trait this past week. So that is a huge up level in my life. I feel so luxe while I'm driving it. I am I'm not a car girl. I don't know what cars are. I don't know what they cost. I see a car on the street and Ben will be like, oh shit, that's a really nice car. I'm like, oh, cool. I literally goes over my head, have no idea. So my sister has a Tesla, my dad has a Tesla. I know that it's really convenient and there's just such technology involved with it. Oh gosh, guys, I am living for it. Okay. Just such an up level and a great start to 2026 is all I'm going to say. And I don't know, I just feel so proud that I'm able to make this purchase. My Honda Civic before was paid off, I felt so privileged to have that car. So I never had car payments, and which was, obviously amazing. So that's why I kept it for so long, because I don't care about labels when it comes to cars and showing off with cars. I was just I'll just drive my Honda Civic. I don't give a shit. But then, when a tire blows out on the side of the road every month, which kept happening to me, you just know that it's time for a little upgrade. And I feel so excited for this new chapter of my life. Oh, gorgeous. Okay. As I was thinking about what I wanted to talk to you guys about, I was thinking about my upcoming trip to my best friend from high school's bachelorette party. We are going to Napa, which is so lovely. I mean, what a bachelorette destination. And, it is January, so I typically do a dry January, but I am going to break it for this trip. And as I mentioned in the last episode, even just 1 week, now it's been 2 weeks of really, really clean eating, I feel so fucking good, to a degree that I'm actually a little afraid to eat not sensitive foods. So basically I'm a little scared to go out to restaurants. I'm a little scared to drink alcohol again and maybe have sugar again. I'm scared for how my body will feel and how it will react, because it's just been feeling so good with these clean foods, and I don't want to live in that fear, right? And I don't think it's sustainable. I need to find a way to be able to sprinkle in things here and there. I can't just be a hermit. My job is going out to restaurants and eating. So I have to be able to incorporate that. So I have just been really contemplating how I can make the most of this trip, but also stay regulated, stay on somewhat of a routine. And it got me thinking about just trips in general and getaways and travel. And leading up to my wedding last year, and I'm not going to apologize, but I know I mentioned my wedding a lot, but it was because I just did so many changes to my well-being and health that I learned so much about myself pre and post wedding. So that's why I always use it as a benchmark, I guess, in my wellness journey, because it really springboarded a lot of these things that come up for me. So, anyways, leading up to the wedding, one thing that was very, very important for me was to be so present the day of the wedding and the weekend. And I didn't want to take that lightly. I wanted to make sure that I truly could tap into that energy at any point, and I didn't want to just leave it for the day of to be like, okay, be present. Like that doesn't work. So I kind of followed this more intense rubric, and I'm going to break it down for you here as well. I went through this like intense reflection months before, and obviously the week of and weeks before leading up, where I kind of followed these little steps, and then it worked. Like I was fully embodying this presence on the whole weekend. I've never felt more present in my life. I just thought, well, if I can do that for a fucking wedding, like I should be able to do that in any trip that I go on, in any travel scenario. So I was thinking, I was getting a little nervous for this trip because I really want to show up. I want to show out. I want to have fun. I want to celebrate my high school best friend and really bring my best and have the best time ever, right? And I was just kind of worried about the food situation and the drinking. And I thought back to, okay, I have tools in my toolkit. These are the ways that I can ease into something like this and really listen to my body and be honest with myself. And I want to share those with you. So if you have a trip coming up, because I really know how dysregulating trips and travel can be. I don't know about you, but it triggers a lot of old patterns around food and alcohol. Like when I'm on a trip, I'm drinking every single night. I'm like, wait, but I don't even drink during the weekdays. So why am I drinking every single night and starting drinking at 12 p.m. every single day while I'm on a trip? Like, it doesn't have to be that way, but there definitely are these, you fall back into old patterns. You have the fuck it's, you're like, I'm on vacation, fuck it, right? Where it doesn't have to be that way. You can have still your routine of what you do that makes you feel really good, but then also experience these new experiences that you're going on. I think another reason that travel can feel really dysregulating is because there's this pressure to make the most out of it. You want to really have every moment be the best it can be. You want to be at the best restaurant. You want to make sure the itinerary is perfect. You don't want anything to go wrong. And I get it. Like, I feel that way all the time when I'm traveling and when I'm going on trips. I'll talk about, I just went to Carmel over Christmas time and I had this whole itinerary. I was going to do this whole video. I was so excited. I do these travel itinerary videos for my personal page and they typically do really well. So I was so excited to share all my Carmel recs. And the second day we got there, the whole city of Carmel lost power. And I was like, oh, okay, so we're going to pivot and can't take any of the content that I wanted to. And of course, I'm a content creator, so that's something with me. And, but even so, even if you weren't taking content, that's a shitty thing to happen on your trip, right? Just to have no power and to be sitting in the room in the dark, which is what we did. So you have to be malleable. There's definitely this pressure of making the most of it. But I think something to remember is not being so rigid about the itinerary. And believe me, I'm a planner. I do this for a living. I am very itinerary, bam, bam, bam. We have so many things to cover. But there needs to be a fluidity. There needs to be an acceptance of, okay, this might not work out exactly the way we want it to, and that is totally fine. I also give this advice to people for weddings. You just have to accept that not everything is going to go your way. And once you release that pressure, oh my God, it just allows you to be so present and grateful for the moment because you just don't give a shit about if something is going wrong. I love this reframe. What if the goal of travel isn't escape? It's presence. We think of travel and vacations as vacating our life, escaping our life, where I don't really love that because I believe that you should create a life that you don't need to escape from. It shouldn't be this oh my God, I'm working crazy and then I can only enjoy and relax for 2 weeks out of the year. And that's my vacation and that's the time. And usually at that time, you can't be present on the vacation because you just don't know how to be present. And Mylette says this a lot, yeah, you could get the mansion. Yeah, you could get the thing you want, but it's still you at the mansion. It's still you living there. You're still going to live with you. So if you're not present now, you're not going to be present on your trip just because you are in a beautiful location in Italy doesn't make you suddenly this like clarity of mind and well-being. Like, of course not. Like, you have to practice that in order to achieve it in beautiful spaces, like when you travel. It's also that quote by Adam Sandler, like, if you don't like hiking at home, you're not going to like hiking in Italy. Like, just because it's Italy doesn't mean that you suddenly have this whole new personality, okay? You need to practice those thought patterns now so that you can implement them into your travels. This is the core thing you need to ask yourself before you go on a trip. And really like sit down, grab a journal or use your notes app and just like sit for a couple minutes and reflect on this, because it really, really sets the mood and the intention, and it's something that you can come back to time and time again throughout the trip. How do you want to feel? All right? Not what are you gonna do, not what it's gonna look like. How do you want to feel on this trip? So for my wedding, a couple of examples for me were I want to feel loved. I want to feel like I'm beaming. I want to feel this like radiance coming off of me. I want to feel celebrated and this like awe, this sense of celebration around me, and I want to feel present. So those were like the core pillars, and I felt all of those, and I was so embodied in all of those. But it was because I was so clear on what those feelings were and how it actually felt in my body prior. So for the Napa Bachelorette that I'm about to go on, my couple of feelings I want to feel: fun. I want to let loose. I want to be wild. I want to be fun and just have this like stripped down fun energy. And I want to celebrate the fuck out of my high school best friend. I want to shower her. I want to like just show up for her, show up and show out, and just have this really fun connective energy. Because when I was on my bachelorette, like those were the best people on the trip, who were just so game to do whatever you wanted to, and just it made me feel so appreciative of everyone in my life and like how close my friends are. And so I want to be that for her. So those are the feelings of just like I'm the part. I want to bring the party energy. I'm going to be that girl, okay? Another big intention for me is I want to release the control over food and alcohol. So obviously I have been doing dry January until now. So it's been 2 weeks, which has been fine and easy to do. And of course, though, I'm going to be in a situation with a lot of drinking. And I just have to remind myself that I can listen to my body and know and trust it. Similarly, on my bachelorette, I didn't drink for 6 weeks prior to my bachelorette, so I was really nervous. But I noticed that I got, a little tipsy after like 1 glass of wine, and I was like, fabulous. Okay, like I don't need to continue because I like how I am right now, and that's it. So again, just staying in tune, not feeling like super restrictive, but then also just feeling loose and fun with my friends, trusting my body, not micromanaging it as I go into this weekend. I always have this belief, and maybe you can take it if it resonates with you. My body always bounces back. My body always shows up for me when I need it the most. When I am looking to it for guidance, it always shows up. Like I could be so bloated and da-da-da and this, and then I go on a trip, or I need to be, on the red carpet at Netflix like we were the other week, and just like my body felt incredible that day. Like I don't know what it was. It's just when you have that inner trust and knowing that like my body shows the fuck up, subconsciously you start to make the decisions for it to show up that way. So you start choosing the nutritious foods. You start like just wanting to feel good in your body. And so then when the time comes, it's like, oh, body is ready. Body is ready to take you on this adventure. And I just always come back to that. Like my body always shows up for me. All right, so these are micro ways to stay grounded on a trip. So we don't want to go so far off the routine, because then it's, again, very destabilizing and it goes into that territory of the fuck it's, right? Then you just kind of like, everything's out the window, I'm on vacation, like fuck it. So things that I do, and again, this can be something, the list is going to probably be different for you. I always bring my matcha, my little whisk, right? I don't drink coffee in the mornings, so I drink matcha. Usually like an Airbnb or something will not have matcha. They'll typically have coffee, but they'll have hot water. So I always bring my little tin of matcha. I bring my little frother, handheld frother, I just put it in my carry-on, and voila. Now my mornings are not disrupted. I also try to like, especially with a trip like a bachelorette when there's a lot of people and some people that I don't know, I always try to find pockets of time to be alone or just to take time to myself. So on my bachelorette, actually, I went on a walk by myself every morning. That's because I woke up like so early. Everyone else was asleep. And I would go on these walks and it was just this like the perfect foundation to set the tone for the day. So I think if this time, I don't want to like put an alarm and like really wake up super early and like I don't think I'm gonna do a workout or any of that, but I think even just taking a little walk, maybe just putting on a little guided meditation on the Open app, something just to take a moment and be alone, especially with so much social stimulation on a big group trip. All right, so this one is huge. So this is mental rehearsal. Mental rehearsal is basically when you sit down, you close your eyes, and you really visualize the entire trip from start to finish. And the most important part of this is not just like going through the motions of what you're going to do or what it's going to look like. You have to go through how you want to feel. Kind of what I said in the beginning. It's all about the feeling, okay? But mental rehearsal is so effective because you basically, when you go through it for real in real life, you're just going to be like, oh, I already went through this and this is how I felt. And so you're going to feel good. You're going to feel fun. You're going to feel celebrated. You're going to feel like when you're presented with alcohol or food, like you're going to make the right choices for your body, but also not restrict, right? Like you already have made that decision in your brain. You've already rehearsed it, that it just like is on autopilot. You're like, oh yeah, I've done this before. And then you just do it. It's like, it feels like deja vu, but in the best way, right? It feels this like grounded deja vu. If you don't want to sit down and just be alone with your thoughts, a couple other ways you can do this. The Activations app by Mimi Bouchard. She has a ton of activations of like prepping for a trip, go like on your way to a big trip. And so she'll kind of take you through like, how do you want to feel? Imagine yourself there. Like, what are you so excited about? And it just has this nice like reflection. Or you can even journal. Again, be like, this is how I want to feel on these days. We're going wine tasting. I want to look super cute in my dress and I want to take really fun photos and I want to laugh with people and I want to like dance, and that's the energy I want to feel. Like even I just like feel this like little flutter in my heart even just thinking about it. So kind of go through the whole trip with that mental rehearsal. Another part of this is decide your relationship to social media before you go. So this is not just for creators, this can be for everyone. And, I obviously am a creator. I love to take content. I honestly get anxiety when I like don't take content because I just want to make sure like I even have the option to post if I want. But regardless, like I think more about not even taking photos and videos and taking content. I'm talking about the consumption. And usually on trips, I will decide before I go and just have a little pact with myself, what kind of trip is this? Is this one where I'm literally I'm going to delete Instagram and TikTok off my phone? Like I'm not going to even touch it and I'll post everything after the fact. Is it one where I'm posting in real time and it's just, that's what it is and I'm excited. I just want to post in real time and be on the apps in real time. Or is it one where, you're not like fully digital detoxing, but you might have the app, but you're just more cognizant of and aware of your usage or like when you're clicking on it, because you just, again, want to be present and want to make the most of your trip and be really, really embodied and have that feeling of aliveness that travel gives us. And when we look on social media, we are immediately taken out of that. So for my intention for the Bachelorette, I don't think I'm going to like fully delete Instagram and TikTok, but I definitely like will take photos, videos. I'm so excited for that. And I will probably post like stories in real time, but not do like full editing and all of that until after, or posting until after. And I really want to be cognizant. Like if is downtime, I don't want to open Instagram and TikTok and scroll. Maybe I can introduce myself to a new friend that's on the trip. The other day, I had an hour to kill because I got to this place very early and I couldn't log into Kindle on my phone. And I was, going through back and forth from Instagram to TikTok. I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing? I don't even want to be looking at these things. I have an hour to kill and I don't really have anything to do. And I was like, I took my own advice. I embraced boredom and I just looked out at the view. I had myself a non-alcoholic cocktail and I was having chips and guac. And I was like, you know what? I was having crudité and guac. And I just was having a ball, just thinking about things, daydreaming, being bored. It was, just so lovely. So reminding yourself that you do not need to go on these apps. If there is one that you really, really need to, if you really feel this impulse, this is my hack. I go on Pinterest because Pinterest lights me up and inspires me. It leaves me feeling energized rather than drained. And I typically get drained from Instagram and TikTok. So if you do need to feel the sensation of scrolling, I would do Pinterest over those two. The key takeaway is to decide ahead of time so you're not negotiating with yourself throughout the weekend. Like, you made the rule, okay, we're gonna follow it. Like, no pressure, you're not negotiating, That's the rule. What I love about these tips and this new framework is that trips then don't need their own recovery times. I'm sure you relate to this. Like, you'll go on a trip and be like, oh, I need a vacation from the trip. Like, that's not what we're trying to go on here, right? I don't want you to come home depleted. I don't want you to come home and have to get back on track, because travel and trips like this should be a continuation of your life, not an interruption. So to close this all out, if you are heading on a big trip this year, definitely bookmark this so that you can come back to it and all these tips and tricks. But there are 3 questions that I want you to ask that kind of distill the energy of everything I spoke about. These are the 3 questions that you should ask before you go on this trip. 1, where am I traveling next? 2, how do I want to feel while I'm there? 3, what's one way I can support that feeling before I even leave? Okay, that is the sweet spot. Okay, if you want to feel fun and wild and silly, like I want to feel on this bachelorette, I'm going to start embodying that energy now. I'm going to do the mental rehearsal. I'm going to walk through the days and show up like that so that when I get there, my nervous system already knows what's up. We already know the type of vibe we're going into this. So that is it for my mindful trip tips, if you will. I love you so much. I am so blessed that you are here listening. If you would like to help the pod, rate and review, send this to a friend, send this to your group chat, send this to the bachelorette party if you are going on one, so that you can all kind of set the intention and share the feeling you guys want on the trip. And I'm so giddy for you. Implementing these tips will allow you to kind of squeeze the most out of your travels and really make you feel so embodied and present when you go on them, because they're so special. And so often we expect so much from them and we put so much pressure only to feel disappointed and be like, why the fuck can't I relax? And it's because you probably didn't do this work to really feel intention and make sure you're set up for success while you're there. So hopefully this does that, and I love you, and I'll see you next week.